Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mayfield and Friends, episode 34. Today I am with streamer and YouTuber GlutenGirl. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself here in the beginning?
Hi, my name's Gluten. I've been streaming for, oh God, 2 or 3 years? I just started YouTube like a year ago, making videos for my adventures. Uh, I'm 26, I have a master's in biophysics, and I don't know, currently unemployed, but trying to do data analysis.
Awesome. We're actually the same age. I turned 27 in like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Mine's in July, so a little younger.
just a little. Not much though.
Hmm.
So like what was it, like 3 months?
God, don't remind me. Right at the end of July, so 4 months.
uh, so why don't you tell us a little bit about the accounts you play? I know people who watch your stream or who are familiar with you know that you have quite a few different builds, and the one that introduced me to you was your hardcore skiller you did the video on.
Hmm.
So that was the one that I like found you from.
You might be the first person to have found me through YouTube, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm a YouTube addict. I even have YouTube Premium. That's like all I watch.
I watch a lot of YouTube. I don't watch a lot of RuneScape YouTube, though. I don't know what it is.
I watch like RuneScape YouTube and then like those 4-hour video essays on a game I've never heard of from the
Oh my god.
1990s.
Yeah.
My favorite.
They're like a guilty pleasure because I don't really think they're good for me anymore. I'm starting to think I like recently there's like this whole like brain food, like, oh, it's educational, it's good for you. But I think at a certain point you're just like consuming random facts and it kind of stops being good for you.
Yeah, if there
Um,
was a Jeopardy about Ultima 1 and 2, I'd be in it to win it. But if it's about like current events, I'd be like I have no idea what's going on in the world.
Oh, but yeah, okay, accounts. So we're definitely not going to get sidetracked 100 times. Definitely not.
That's all right. That's kind of I mean it's a conversation. It's what
Yeah.
happens.
So I'd say the account I've been playing on for the longest is my main. It's not very exciting. It's a collection logger. I don't really PVM, so the log isn't very high. I have like 788, and of those, I'd say from bosses and raids, maybe like 20 of those
Oh
are from those.
damn.
And then the rest is just everything else. There's like very few non-PVM things I have left to do.
So then
Um,
you're gonna have to dip your toes into PVM then.
well, yeah, I actually got 5 PVM log slots today.
I saw you doing the Dagonoth Kings today.
Yeah, yeah. That was like it was a big day today. I streamed for like 11 hours and I did like my first ever Kraken task on main game. I've done like a ton of leagues. I've done a ton of PVM on leagues, but I don't really do it main game. Just like regearing and like running back to the bank or from it to the bossing is just super annoying. So like recall made bossing not suck. And like I've just kind of built a tolerance, so I don't hate it as much. DKs still are terrible though. God.
Archaic content.
Mm-hmm.
Getting there just sucks.
They really I need like a with the Hydra they have that like pipe that you can crawl down.
Yeah.
Just we need one of those for DKs. Or just let us go in through the lighthouse, honestly.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad.
Devalue the price of rings or something.
It would devalue the Rune Throne X.
True. Um, but yeah, so I did those. I got Kraken tentacles. I got a couple of them from my Kraken task. And then like I got a whip the other day from an Abbey Demon. Slayer's like my lowest level. I'm not a big killer of things.
Slayer is just bad though.
Yeah. So good to hear someone else say it. Um, then I say my second oldest is I have a Gim that I started with some IRL friends that we still all kind of play on and off. It's like 16 or 1700 total or something like that. I just kind of like I like to multi-log when I'm streaming, especially if I'm doing something that's like a little bit less engaging, just to like keep my focus on the game and like not be bored to tears. I'll play multiple accounts. So
Mm-hmm.
I use it as like a second or third account when I'm doing that. Um I like actually don't care about it at all. But I'll just like make cannonballs or like run laps and get amylaze for the people who actually play on it. So they appreciate me. Um, I'd say out of my accounts, the one that's the most like famous is probably my UIM Tile Man, which like I have like 8 episodes on YouTube. That's like what I started making videos for. And I started that one like right after Leagues 3. That's probably about 1,600 total as well.
Was that kind of during like the boom of Tile Man, or was that kind of your own volition?
I've got stories about this one. So when SRAM started a Tile Man in like hell 2019.
Yeah, I remember like the first person who like did the videos, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is an interesting concept. I wonder like how far you could theoretically go.
So he made a Discord. I think I found him when he was on episode 7 or 8. I joined his Discord. So this was pre-pandemic, right when like Leagues 2 was happening. And you can actually see if you go into his videos, you can see me in his clan, like in the videos and like the later ones.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like right around when Leagues 2 was happening. And then basically the hype all died down. And then there was just like a core group of friends who like stayed in the Discord and like kept interacting. And like nobody really, there were like a few tile men who were still playing, but like nobody making content or anything like that. And then Leagues 3 happened, and then Settled made his. And then it really exploded. And I think that when Settled did it was when I kind of was like, all right, like I've been in the Tile Man clan for so long. I probably should make one. And it was like coming off of Leagues 3 with like, really high XP rates. So I was like, no matter what I do, main game is going to feel terrible. So this is, in a sort of perverse way, a really good time to start a Tile Man,
Mm-hmm.
because like whether you're getting 100 XP per drop or 6, if you're used to 3,000, it's going to feel awful. So just go all the way, full reset. And it worked really well. For me at least. I was really, really excited about the game. I didn't have any post-leak burnout or anything. But yeah, so I started basically at the exact same time as Settled, but it was funny because like I lead the Tile Man clan, like, and
Oh,
then
oh,
people would
damn.
yeah, um, people would come in because SRAM has been a bit AWOL for a while. Um, but people would be like, "Oh, you're copying Settled," and I'm like, No, 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 I'm not." But it's just like there's like a running joke in my community that I have like huge beef with Settled, and I absolutely don't, but they won't let it go. So whenever his name comes up in my stream, just people will be like, "Who's Settled?" And I'm like, "What if he sees?"
The day comes, and it's funny that like people would think that, because even in like the first video he did of Tile Man, he like mentioned that it was somebody else's,
Hmm.
and he like I think he talked about Shram in the video.
Mhm. Yeah, give him like a quick shout out right at the beginning, and it was really interesting. He made a decision, which like I think it was a good idea for him, but he was like, I immediately he said like he watched the first one, he thought it was interesting, thought he might want to eventually do it, and then he immediately stopped watching the series. So he basically didn't have any contact at all with like the greater Tile Man community that had grown
Mm-hmm.
since like SRAM released his first video. But as a result, he sort of, I'm gonna say like a lot of the tile men who watched his stuff kind of felt like he was like acting like he was like a pioneer when he was doing shit that everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember distinctly there was one where he was like, I must be the first person since 2010 to like use the Al Kharid jail to get to Port Sarim. And we're like, this is a known tile tech, like settles. But like it's not his, like again, I think that for what he was doing, I do think that a big part of like the tile man experience is like finding a path for yourself. And he always talks about forging your own journey. It was like his big thing with Swampletics.
Mm-hmm.
So like I like totally support him in the way that he did it. but like I found it a little hard to watch personally. And like, boo-hoo, the 100 tilemen that exists kind of struggle to watch, at least the ones that have been around. Um, but that's fine because it brought a whole bunch of people to the community, and I thought that was really great.
And I think the one thing about Settled's videos too is he's one of the few like RuneScape creators, I think, that kind of makes it for people who don't play the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So some of the like the word, not the wording, I guess, but like some of the things he'll say kind of like, it's like for people who've played this game forever, it's like, yeah, of course. But for
Yeah.
people who don't play RuneScape, they're like, oh, that's so interesting, or however, I mean, it's the same thing, I guess, with like watching videos like we had just talked about games you've never played before and how they explain it to you like you're a small child.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this makes more sense now.
And yeah, if, we need ambassadors to bring people to the game. So it's
Mhm.
good that he does it.
Absolutely. So do you still play the Tile Man, or is that kind of on the back burner?
Okay. So I have a year and a half of back footage
Oh my
to
God.
catch up with. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, so I started playing the Tile Man like a year before I started editing videos of the Tile Man. Right? And then I kept playing it while editing the beginning of it. So I've now had probably 4 months, maybe? It might be even less, honestly. Um, but I've played it for like 2 years. So basically, I said, I'm going to stop playing it altogether. I stopped like, I don't know, last September, like before Leagues 4. I said, I'm not going to play it again until I'm at least somewhat caught up. So basically, like, I always joke that like I don't do a lot of PVM, but we're gonna have like a PVM arc. I'm on my PVM arc now,
Hell
and
yeah.
we're tabling the Tile Man while I do that,
Inferno
so that
coming
I can
soon.
catch up on the footage. Inferno, well, I'm gonna say 2025, so we'll see. We'll see.
Sooner than I'd
I'm
ever do it.
excited to try it. I'm excited to try it.
I hate the
Sent
fight
it a
caves,
little
so
bit. Yeah, I
I
sent it a little
I
bit in leagues. I did all right.
I just don't
I like.
like OSRS PVM stuff. I have a main. I just don't touch it.
Do you do RS3 PVM?
I do. Yes.
Hmm,
I find it way more enjoyable.
that's interesting.
I know it. I bet backwards. I know.
I play RS3 and I don't engage in the PVM. And it's not even like I'm not like a EOC purist, right? Or anything like that. I think it's fine. It doesn't really bother me. They like added the thing that's like auto revolution, so you don't have to like really understand. You can just sort of stick them all in a line and then it works well enough.
Mm-hmm.
Which is sort of the level of engagement I have with the combat system. But it always feels so overwhelming. I don't know how to optimize it. I don't know what to do. And I just kind of don't do PVM, which like I don't really do PVM in RS3 or in OSRS either.
Yeah.
But
That's
I
that's
don't
the
know.
thing about it for me too, is like I had to watch like videos or like read the wiki on like, oh, if you're level 50 in magic or whatever, here's how your bar should look.
Mm,
And so like I've kind of like looked at stuff like that, and I keep like I usually I've never done full manual. I haven't tried it yet. I do revolution the whole time, and then I just like hit the abilities that don't get triggered by revolution,
yeah,
because they won't trigger like the big ones. You have to manually do that.
yeah, yeah.
So like I've learned to like where to place my hand and all that stuff on the keyboard, and like I'm starting to get used to it. And I think, and it took me 6 months to really like get used to it. And I still haven't done like any big PVM. Like I think the biggest boss I've done, ironically, is like the giant mole, and because it's very different in RS3.
Oh yeah?
It's got like phases and stuff.
What the heck?
Yeah, so like when it goes to like a certain part of the cave, it's not like random. It is, but like each part of the cave has a different
Yeah, yeah, I think I get
like
you.
mechanic that it uses. So that's about as like far as I've really gone into RS3 PVM, but hopefully I think in the coming like weeks, months, I should be diving a little bit more into like the bigger stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So like I really like RS3. I do. I haven't played it in been a while. I know I played it alongside the Tile Man, but it must have been like a year and a half ago now.
So no necromancy.
No, I haven't tried necromancy.
You missed out when it was OP. Now they brought all the other combat styles in line with it now, so it's no longer like it's no longer like necromancy everything.
That's probably for the best, right?
100%, yeah, because everybody was just killing everything with necromancy, and like nothing else mattered. Whereas now it makes sense to like use the actual weakness against the boss or whatever it is you're fighting.
It's so interesting. How does it engage with the combat triangle?
It's just its own thing. It's like now it's like a triangle, and then there's like necromancy like off to the side. It's really weird, and I'm sure like as time goes on, it'll balance better. But like if a monster is weak to say like melee crush, you can get away with using like melee slash. But if you use like range or mage on it, it's like very mediocre. But necromancy is just like using melee slash.
Gotcha.
So it's like viable for a lot of things. Plus with like some of the mechanics behind it, being able to like heal yourself and having these like crazy AoE attacks and stuff. It's like I said, it'll come in line hopefully but that's the hardest part about like a new combat style. I think it's like kind of similar to when they released summoning. It was like, but summoning like wasn't OP. It was just kind of dead. People only use it for like Beast of Burdens, I think.
Yeah, those are kind of OP.
And nowadays you don't even need Beast of Burdens. It's like
note paper.
Yeah, now it's pretty much just dead content again. So people just use like summoning familiars for like skilling and PVM because they released. I don't want to get too deep into RS3, but like they've got like so many contracts now, so you can have like really powerful things with you, and they like absolutely shred. But so you've played a little bit of RS3, and so I guess as far as like other accounts you play, I know I mentioned that I found you vis-a-vis your skiller. And I know what's the other main account you play again?
So okay, I have started a hardcore skill pure 3 times.
Oh no.
2 of them are no longer hardcores. And they're both like really silly deaths too. It's just like when you have 10 health.
Everything's dangerous.
Everything. I literally like wasn't paying attention and nearly died to a Draenor Manor tree.
Yeah, I've died on Mayfield 2 stupid ways, which is why I play Ultimate and not hardcore.
Yeah. It's really fun though. I really enjoy the hardcore sculpture. It really changes the like the challenge, because there's stuff that's just completely not viable if you can't die.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, one of the times before I knew about the Pickpocket Guardian plugin, I died to a Master Farmer, which is like completely on me. I just wasn't paying enough attention. And then the other one, I was making dynamite. I like got the like farming level up to make poison dynamite and everything. And I had my belladonna ready, and I went to mine some sulfur. And then I died to a sulfur cloud.
Oh no.
It's like the meanest sulfur cloud ever. And again, right, it's just like a momentary lapse of judgment. You're a little bit distracted. I was on a Discord call. I got hit by a scorpion in Lovakenge, so I was down to like 6 health already. And then I was just like running up. There's like that little bank in the bottom right corner. And I was like just getting up there to like resupply my food. And I like should have eaten to full, because you should always eat to full if you only have 10 health and you're a hardcore. But I didn't for whatever reason. And then basically I was like on the bottom row of tiles, and a sulfur cloud, as I stepped up, moved to the bottom row of tiles and then followed me across. It hit me like 5 times and I died.
It was hunting you down.
It was horribly, horribly unfortunate, but like it's fine. Because I have one that's, I think the one that I have right now, it's like I kind of gave up at like 50 farming.
Mm-hmm.
Because after getting 64 farming via Tithe Farm twice, you just don't want to do it a third time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tithe Farm is like, even with quality of life improvements they've done to it, it's still not like great content.
Yeah, this was before quality of life too.
Oh, so you were just suffering.
Well, I mean, I like Typeform quite a bit, so I like the rhythm of it.
There's only so much one person can do.
Yes, yes, and I definitely hit that limit. But that one's like tabled for now because basically I wanted to. My biggest problem with skill pures is that you don't have magic, so you can't teleport, and movement is super painful.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've already experienced that with the tile man. I'm good with painful movement, which is why I turned one of the dead ones into an iron 10 HP pure, which
Gotcha.
is the account that I've been playing the most right now.
How you liking the 10 HP game mode compared to like level 3 or main?
So I'd say that 10 HP and skill pure have like interesting similarities and differences. Like I think that externally you'd feel like they sort of feel very similar, being that like they're both like very, very squishy.
Yeah.
But like just the amount of content that becomes hypothetically feasible on a 10 HP instead of a skill pure. The skill pures are like locked out of probably half or more of the quests.
Oh yeah, a ton. I think the max quest points you can get on a level 3 is like somebody did it recently. I don't remember how much. I think it's like 150 something.
Yeah. And like quests that you can't do on a 10 HP, 20 maybe.
Yeah, pretty much all like the Grandmaster stuff, right?
Yeah, so you can't do Nature Spirit, which locks off all of Mauritania. You can't do Fremi Trials, which locks off all of the um, like Relica and like
The,
northern people. I
yeah,
don't remember what the region is called.
I think
Fremenic.
yeah, just
Fremenic. What
the
is it called?
Fremenic region, like all that those
Yeah.
quest series.
So all of that's no. And then like I think you can do Underground Pass, but you can't do ME1.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but other than that, pretty much everything is good. So like there's like way more. And you think about stuff like in theory, a fire cape is possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a wild thing to try to do, but like that's just stuff that's totally locked off to skill peers. It's just so like and the depth of how far you can push it in terms of like accomplishing hard stuff. And that's why I'm excited to do that's why I didn't want to do a hardcore for this one. It's like, no, I want to try stuff that I'll die a bunch of times because like there's just no way it would happen otherwise.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's the other part, like you said, very squishy build.
And I've died a bunch.
So I guess that brings me into like a future update question or like a pulled question that they have talked about or people have kind of rallied behind for a while is that like how would you feel like being a newer 10 HP if they were to change quest rewards to XP lamps instead of like just giving you the XP or like all the combat rewards to only give lamps?
I'd love it. I desire that greatly.
So there's like there's discourse in the 10 HP and like level 3 communities about it
Yeah.
because it would give like one defense peers access to fairy rings. It would give 10 HPs basically access to fairy rings, and it would
Yeah.
open up a lot of things.
Yep. 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 And it's like, and to me, it's a lot of like, even I'd love to try Sins of the Father on a 10 HP account. That sounds crazy. Um, Probably a lot of tick eating, I think, if it's even possible. Um, but like, can't, right? Don't, not an option to try it.
Hmm.
And that's sad. I think there's a lot of content that I'd love to try. And I do get why they don't, because like, you have level 3s with 200 mil and skills that would suddenly become way easier if you had access to other stuff. And like, it does kind of deprecate a lot of old accounts. There's a lot of history there. And like, there's a certain point where you have to. They added like with group irons, they have like prestige stars for groups that have never done like a raid with anyone outside of their
Yeah.
group or whatever. And I think that that would work, honestly. But there's a certain point where you have to ask, like, how much, like, subdivision are you okay with on the high scores?
Yeah, there was already a lot of like backlash behind them releasing the level 3 and 1 defense high scores because
Mhm.
when the level 3 high scores went up, the ranks weren't based on who got it first. It was based on who logged in first.
What the heck?
Yeah, like I don't know how they messed it up, but like yeah, so like the actual guy who got like for example terminal fire making first is not the real person on the level 3 high scores. So like they're already like just defunct.
Love that. Love that for us.
And it also doesn't count anybody who has messed up and is still level 3, but they have like maybe 2 prayer or like 2 attack or something like that.
Oh, really?
Those don't count either.
Yeah, as long as you're level 3 combat, right?
Yeah. So like yeah, because it would theoretically um uncap the total level because right now the
True, true.
because the actual total level cap I think is 1600 if you have 99 Slayer, but it would be 1601 if you had 2 in a combat stat.
You could probably sneak a couple, right? I haven't done the math, but
You can get I think like 3 defense and 2 prayer before you get it's and I know for sure you can get 3 defense, but I don't know if you can add that 2 prayer on there.
yeah.
Yeah, so theoretically people could like ruin their build just to like look better on the high scores.
Yeah, probably best for that not to be a thing.
But yeah, so those are basically gone at this point.
You know what they should do? They should do like the hardcores where like when they die they get crossed out. Someone bricks their build, they should stay on the high scores but get crossed out.
What's funny that you say that is people do stay on the high scores, but it doesn't cross them out like hardcores do.
What
They
does it
just
do?
they just sit there and they'll never like gain a rank or anything like that ever again. It just sits
That's
there like wherever their account was.
yeah. Hmm.
So a lot of weird things with the implementation of the high scores, and so I think that does make it like a little nerve wracking, especially if, like you said, for like the older accounts that have been like 10 HPs for the existence of OSRS or however long.
Yeah, yeah.
So as far as all that goes, is that kind of like the end of the road as far as like all of your accounts go, or is there like another hidden one I'm missing?
Oh, geez. I think that's all of them. That's everything I'm cooking right now, at least.
Oh boy.
There's always ideas, right? It's like if I've got literally like a year of footage to catch up on, there's absolutely no point in starting a new account. I always have to hold myself back,
Oh,
you know?
I'm the same way. Like Mayfield's my one true love, but like there's always like things I want to do on the side and like be like,
Mhm.
oh, what if I like? Because I wrote a paste bin guide on how to start a level 3 like iron peer, iron skiller, or like hardcore or UIM, and I've wanted to bring that idea to video and then revamp it as well for a version 3 because a lot of things have changed since I made that guide 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's always in the back of my mind. But then I'm like, if I start like a hardcore level 3, I'm gonna want to try and max that too. And
Well, if
I
you
still
ever do, you will pass me so quickly.
maybe I'm a lot less efficient these days. I've been mining stars for like a month
Hmm.
because I've been like I'm on that. You finish. I feel like you finish one big thing and then you're like, I need to chill out. So I finished 2 of my fire making and I did a bunch of other small things after, and then I've been just kind of mining stars ever since.
So I'm curious. I don't know if I haven't done enough digging with either my 10 HP or my scope here into which diaries are possible, but they made some adjustments, and one that I picked up on was the Shiloh Village. Maybe you can't do Shiloh Village actually on a
You
scope
can,
here. I don't think. You can?
yeah. There's a guide on how to do it. It's actually pretty easy.
The gem mine is gonna be locked behind medium instead of hard.
I don't think the medium diary would be possible, but I'm actually going to open it up as we are speaking. Let's see here. Shiloh Village, catch Karambwan. Yeah, because you have to do the Grand Tree. So you could do it on 10 HP, maybe.
You have to do the Grand Tree to catch up. Wait.
You have to do the
Oh,
grand for the glider.
right.
So, and 10
Yeah.
HPs can do the grand, like most of the gnome quest line.
Well, in theory, I'm pretty sure a 10 HP can get hard Karamja if you find a way to beat a major in the fight cave.
Yeah, you just have to get there.
Which, like, it's a little bit annoying because I really, really love the gem mine. It's like favorite place in the game. A bunch of colorful rocks. It's just absolutely my vibe. And like I was gonna make like the big thing with the 10 HP being like beating a major in the fight cave. And then I found out that like 10 HPs could get fire capes and that apparently I'm not even gonna need to do that anymore. So I was like, well, this kind of takes the wind out of the sails for the end game grind, but just make it be a fire cape. It'll be way harder, but it will be the idea of a fire cape on an account with 10 HP is very crazy and very cool.
Just a lot of work behind it, and that's the biggest reason I think people have asked me before, like why I did level 3 and not 10 HP, and because of that, like in mass access to content, but like things mains can do, but it's just much more difficult. I'm good. I don't care much for the idea behind a lot of the 10 HP stuff. Like I have a friend who maxed the 10 HP, like on everything except for HP, and now he plays a 10 HP UIM, and he's going for 200 mil attack.
No.
At Soul Wars.
Oh, I would love to have a conversation with him. We did some theory crafting recently on maximum zeal per hour.
Mm-hmm. And what was your consensus?
I don't think it got over 250.
Yeah, I think he said it was like 136k attack XP an hour. So I don't know what that zeal correlates to at 99 attack.
Yeah, no idea.
But I had him on the cast and we talked a little bit about it. I don't even remember what episode that was. That was a while ago, I think. Dang. Yeah, it was surely a while ago. At this point. Oh my gosh. It's been too long now. Can't remember anymore. Brain gone.
Yep.
But yeah. Other than that, it's just scary. Oh, episode 25. That was the episode.
I'll have to give it a peek.
So, yeah. So as far as like all that goes, you got a lot of cooks in the kitchen, but always good to keep yourself busy on that front. Never get bored. You get bored of one account and just go to the next one.
Oh, for sure.
And then come back. You're like, what was I doing? And then make a new account again.
Well, see, I've got footage so I can like watch back. So like, oh, what was I doing? Oh, that's right. This is what we were trying to do. Especially because like I do like people joke about having like a YouTube voice. I don't really do that, but what I do is on stream, like I make a point to explain the logic behind what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that I have coherent clips to like stitch together when I'm making videos. A thing I learned to do after needing to stitch together some very incoherent footage. But it's convenient because if I ever watch back like a clip or like a VOD of myself, I can be like, oh, that's why I'm doing that makes sense. Or like, frequently some very obvious thing I could have done instead that I just missed.
I only said it that way because that was my bad habit. Like as like growing up, had I like played one account my whole life, I would have been like 200 mil all. So as far as like, playing one account your whole life and et cetera, et cetera. So what is your history with RuneScape, whether it be the version we play today or back at the very beginning of the lifespan in 2001?
So I think I started in 2006, I want to say. I can't pinpoint exactly when I started. I just know that I have the Easter ring, the old one from way back in the day, and I think that was the 2006 or 2007 Easter event. So I know at least I was playing at that point. But I played for a few years on and off. I was like on the younger side, I'd say, because I think that a lot of people, I just interacted with the game in a less mature way than people did, I think.
Mhm.
Because, like, people talk about, like, doing PKing or, like, doing barrows and stuff back in the day, and, like, I was out here, like, I remember we reading a guide once on barrows, and, like, they were talking about bringing pots, and I didn't know what a pot was. They were like, "Prayer pot," and I was like, "What is that?"
What is that for?
I didn't know what item it was, right? I didn't know much of anything because it was still back in the sort of word of mouth days,
Mhm.
and, like, I don't know, I don't think that I was much of, like, a, like, read the wiki type of person yet, and I don't know if, like, wikis were even a thing back then.
We would basically it was just Rune HQ. That was the
I
wiki.
used it. It was called Zybez, but I'm pretty sure it was, like, a gold selling website that just also had quest guides. I don't really know.
Yep. No, that's exactly what it was basically.
But that was, like, my, like, secret little, you know, I used it for questing.
I was a big Rune HQ guy. If I didn't know the quest, I would like just use Rune HQ.
Yeah. Probably would've learned more that way. Um, but, like, I stopped in high school, someone freshman year introduced me to Minecraft,
Oh boy.
um, and I played a lot of Skyrim back then too,
Mhm.
um, but sort of Minecraft sort of captured my heart for most of high school, I'd say. I played a little bit on and off. I remember when Divination came out, I, like, logged in and then got, like, in my mind, I got, like, 60 and then logged out, but I've logged into the account and it has, like, 40 divination, so apparently I didn't get very far. Um, that skill was not very engaging on release.
It's still not very
Um,
engaging.
that's fair. I like it actually, kind of.
I like doing my do 2 daily caches, getting like 50k XP, and for doing like 10 minutes of work a day.
So the Hall of Memories, the, like, Guthix thing,
That stuff is cool.
and you can start at, like, 65. So, like, the beginning is really bad, but once you get there, I think I've gotten 99 on 2 accounts now, divination. It's, like, one of my only 99s, and it's just because it is, like, straight up one of the only tick manipulations that exists in RS3.
I did not know that. I know like the way the mining works is if you click every time you can like 4 tick mine without like any like use of anything else. You just click the rock
Yeah.
every 4 ticks. But like that's all I
That's
knew about really.
No, it's actually it's really good too because it's 3 ticks to 2 ticks in the Hall of Memory, so it's a 50% XP gain.
Damn.
Yeah. And it's just I really I find it very satisfying. Um, it's like a very slow manipulation, but, um, yeah, I remember when Divination came out, and then I sort of stopped altogether. I feel like I went to college, played a lot of things, and then spent a lot of time being someone who didn't spend all of their time on the computer for, like, 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
partially because, like, school is very, grueling, and partially because I had, like, a social life and was surrounded by other people doing that, and, like, I spent a lot of time playing video games too, but, like, I don't think I was hooked on anything. And then in 2018, Jagex released OSRS Mobile,
And that
and
was
I was back.
I can't believe
Uh,
mobile's what got you.
yeah, well, it was I could play it in class
Oh,
on my
yeah.
phone. That was exactly I had a couple of boring classes, and I'd use them to pass the time. It was like, hey, my undergraduate was in physics, and there was, like, a modern physics course that we took sophomore year that, like, low key covered stuff that shouldn't be covered until, like, grad school.
Mm-hmm.
That was just completely inappropriate for sophomore level, and I got, like, a C in it, and then I needed to get my GPA up so I could, like, graduate with honors, so I retook it my senior year after I had learned this, you know, esoteric bullshit, um, and so it was really easy. I just had to, like, do the work and pass the class, so, like, the lectures were really boring, but there was, like, attendance, so I had to show up, so I showed up, and I played mobile RuneScape, and, like, for the first time learned how to play the game efficiently and tried to optimize it, which is not a thing I did when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I was like the person who, how some people like flip coal for money?
Yeah.
I was like the person they bought coal from.
So you were like the middleman?
No, I would mine coal and then sell it for like 50 GP, and then they
Oh,
buy it for 50 and sell it for 200 because I
damn.
was a child and didn't understand. Um, but yeah, like I started playing efficiently, and then I like learned. I don't think I got into tick manipulation until way later, but like I started playing in 2018. I played it for a while. This is like, okay, I'm gonna bridge this story into another story. Um, so I'm transgender.
Hmm.
Um, Found that out when I was 21, so senior year of college. Um, which was I guess 2019. So I'd been playing RuneScape for a little while at that point. And basically I like couldn't get into my old account, or like I had made an old school account, but it had like a few levels and I wanted to start fresh because it's like a fresh experience. Um, so I made a new account and I needed a new name. And at the time, like I was playing Smash with some friends and I needed a username. Um, and I just came up with something silly because, it wasn't important. But let's get this bread was a thing that people were saying.
Oh my God. I
So
remember that was a huge. I remember that was like brand new and huge.
yeah. So that was right around 2018. Um, so the username that I picked was Bread Boy. And then like 2 years later, I transitioned.
So you were no longer the bread boy.
And now I'm Gluten Girl. That's how that happened. And now I live with the curse of everyone asking me if I'm celiac all the time.
Oh, really?
All the time. All the time.
I will say
It's
it did
just
cross my mind.
crosses most people's minds.
I didn't ask though.
So it's one of two things. Pretty much, like I'd say a full 85% of my interactions with new people start with either "Are you celiac?" or "I'm allergic to gluten." One of the two. Um, but yeah, like that's how the name started. And like I like remade a new account when I transitioned because like I like knew that like name changes were a thing, but like you could like track name changes. And like when I was like a brand new baby trans person, I like didn't want the like connection to be there because like let's be real, RuneScape is a scary place sometimes, and things were different in 2019.
Absolutely.
Um, so like I just made a brand new fresh account again, like 2019 or something. And then the pandemic hit.
Oh no. And it got
And then
worse.
and then RuneScape intensified because I was locked inside. And that was like when I like saw SRAM and like for the first time had an actual community, not just like random friends I knew who played. And then like, yeah, that's really I think I did my first like clue opening stream in like a Discord call with like 4 guys like during the pandemic.
Hmm.
And then I like fell in love with streaming from that. And then it's just, yeah, it's just been more RuneScape and more streaming and then making YouTube videos. And here we are. That's how I got here.
That's awesome though. I like the story behind the name. I liked, because like when you were talking about like one of your earliest memories in RuneScape, the one I always think of is like I remember when Hunter came out.
Wow.
That was 2006, I think. But like I don't.
I think
Go
when
ahead.
I was a
Sorry.
little kid, I didn't have members. So
Oh, I didn't.
I didn't.
I didn't train. I just remember reading the blog post.
Gotcha.
I also didn't have members. My mom was like, "I'm not going to give you my credit card for this internet game called Run Escape." And I said, "Well,
That was back when one of the payment options was like put $5 in an envelope and mail it to them.
yeah, pretty much." So like, I grew up on a farm.
Ooh.
So I was one of the very few kids who had money. So my dad would
Mm.
pay me. I wasn't a child slave labor person, thank God.
Yeah.
And I would buy like the prepaid cards at the gas station. I would bike 4 miles to the gas station at like 10 years old.
I love this. This is a great story.
And I would buy the card and like two monsters. and then I would bike home another 4 miles. Now, keep in mind, I didn't live in the middle of nowhere, but the street I grew up on, they ripped up the pavement after like when I was like probably 9 or 10 because it kept sinking. So like half of my bike ride is like a dusty, pothole riddled dirt road. So I was gross when I came back. I was sweaty. I was full of dust. And I was like, there is no time to shower or be clean. There was only time for RuneScape.
Yeah.
And now, go ahead.
Did you ever? I used to dream. I remember when I was younger, dreaming about RuneScape. Weren't fun dreams. I had dreams about killing cows and collecting cow hides.
No, I don't think I ever. I mean, I definitely have had dreams. I've had nightmares where I've like ruined Mayfield on accident. Like as a grown man, I dream about my RuneScape account being ruined.
Did you ever have a hardcore?
Yeah, no, my current main I have was a hardcore.
Hardcore death dreams are super common.
And I actually got like decently far on it, and then I died, and then I was like, I'll make a new hardcore, but then I was like, eh.
I just remembered I have another account.
Oh no, we missed one.
I have a vanilla hardcore that's like 1,400 total.
Oh, just a regular hardcore?
Just a hardcore. That was like the first iron I made, and it never died, but I just stopped playing it. I stopped playing it when I made gluten tiles. And then I bonded it like after Leagues 4 to play on it because I was like, let's progress this hardcore. I haven't played it in forever. And then after you play a more interesting account, it's just so dull.
Oh, 100%.
This is like, there's no challenge. It's just do the game, but don't die.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's like just for example, for like a more like recent adaptation of myself, like I tried out, I'm sure many people who are watching this have heard of like TDS's Generate Task series.
Yeah.
So I did the old school version of that. I tried the Generate Task. I got like I got like a third of the way through easy tier, and then I died on the hardcore, so I didn't care anymore that much. I told myself I would care, but I didn't. And recently, I was like I've said before in some casts and all that stuff, and even earlier today, I started playing RS3 back in like August or September of last year. Like right before Hero Pass came out and all that controversy started.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then there was that was a regular hardcore Iron Man, and I still have that one. And then I was like, and then this guy who I had the episode with just last week, as of right, because I was right now we're recording on the 17th of March, and he made a video about the rules of the RS3 Taskman, and I've always been interested in the Taskman series because like RS3 is very daunting.
Yeah.
So having like someone like a spreadsheet being like, go do this obscure thing or go do this quest.
Super true. That's super true.
So it gave me more direction on what to do. Whereas with the hardcore, I was just like, looking up like what dailies am I supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? All this stuff. And now I'm invested in the Taskman. So my star mining will continue probably for a while yet. But I am getting the itch to finally finish maxing on Mayfield. And so the stars have been helping because it gives me a lot of gems for crafting, and crafting is awful on my account.
There's like this weird thing that happens when you like. So I think I mentioned this earlier. In January of this year, I got my first ever main game 99.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've got a bunch of accounts that haven't even, and that's like when I got one, I got 8. Yes, I got 8 at once. First 8. And then it's like once you have some, you like look at what it takes to get a 99. You're like, well, that's not bad at all. But before you have any, it seems so daunting.
It is one of those things that's like, I think that's exactly how I felt. And then I did it and I'm like, how much further can I go? And now that I have my first 200 mil, I'm like, I want them all to be 200 mil.
That's how they get you.
Looking at the skill guide and like seeing next level or like just seeing it stop at a nice even number. Chef's kiss. Also, I did not mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No worries. I just feel like he's probably very similar with like a maxed account, where once you've maxed an account, you're like, oh yeah, I feel like I should hurry up and max the second account soon. And I'm like, maxing seems so far away.
It's so scary. I'm very,
Maxing,
very afraid of the post max burnout.
really?
My roommate, who I've talked about on this cast a few times, like we played group together. We've played RuneScape together since we were like 9 or 10 years old.
Hmm.
And he maxed this year. He did Inferno. He made like 5 bill at Nex. And now he doesn't log in anymore.
Yeah. Then what, right?
And he made an Iron Man too, because like he also played a 10 HP UIM for a while. He got 99 strength on it. And like
Wow.
and like front page fishing and all that stuff because of like barb fishing.
Yeah.
And that's when I think we did the group after that. And then he was like like trying to figure out what he wanted to play. So he made a free to play account and then got 99 smithing, and then he put members on it and then just kept going. Maxed it in like a year and played like a shit ton. Like he played more than I did. And now he just like doesn't log in.
You know, I know that it seems scary or like sad or whatever, but like he won.
Exactly.
And that's so rare for RuneScapers. I think we should be happy for him.
Oh, I'm absolutely happy for him, but it's like it is kind of sad. It's like look at the friends list, how like all these like yellow or green names, and then like I see his name and it's just like always offline. He did log in to check to see how long it's been, and he PM'd me, and it was like 23 days since last login because they just got married and then they went on a trip to Japan, so they were outside of they were living their lives.
Yeah.
And he's got other hobbies to fall back to. He's
crazy to think that if we weren't all doing this, we could be living our lives.
What fun is that, though?
It's a balancing game. I've got other life-living, RuneScape-related activities.
Oh yeah, and that's that's one of the questions that we'll get into a bit later. Is like, I guess we're on the topic now, so I mean we can just go through it. Like, how do you balance your day-to-day obligations? Like whether it be, I know you said you don't have a job right now, but like that's not stopping you from trying to. And living a healthy life, cooking, hanging out with friends. I don't know if you have a partner or anything of that nature. Like, how do you balance everything?
So she also plays RuneScape, my partner. So
convenient.
Sorry.
So that's convenient.
It's sort of.
Oh no, I don't like the way you answered that.
So actually, she and I met through Twitch. So she like found me on Twitch, and then we like talked, and then so like, all right. When you go on Twitch, people listening to this podcast, okay, you should never think of the streamer as a potential date, because that's not the sort of attitude that you should have. That being said, anecdotally has happened thanks to me. But yeah, so like we've been living together for a while now, a year and something. But it's like great, but basically most of my friends are like online now. And part of that, like between grad school and the pandemic, a lot of the social circles, especially because I like moved for grad school, right? And then like I'm in a very like niche program. I was in biophysics, so like my class size was very small. And the pandemic happened and it was super just like isolated. Okay? Like I was in a completely different state, and like all of the like close-knit friends that I have are now in like California. I'm in the Midwest. From like my college friends, that is. And like I don't really have any friends where I am, so I don't really have like a going out social life. I like briefly did for a little bit, but then it kind of like fell away because like just like the pandemic has given me like some like agoraphobia with like leaving the apartment, which is not great. And like being unemployed doesn't help that either, because like I never have a reason to leave and it's like hard to leave. So like social life, none of that, none to balance, none to speak of. So I spend most of the my time like socially streaming. I stream 3 times a week. So like I have plenty of human interactions, just all digital. And then I like work out, clean the apartment, cook, edit videos, make emotes, hang out with my partner, and play RuneScape. And like, did I say workout? I don't know.
You did.
Um, that's like pretty much it. And it's just sort of like I have ADHD. It's like really bad, and like basically this has allowed me to become completely untethered from the concept of time, and I just do whatever it feels right to do in the moment. But it does mean that I'm now in this weird, like, I mean, it's like, I'm sure you noticed. I started a stream last night at 10 p.m. after taking like a 1 hour nap, after spending the whole day doing like housework. And I streamed for 11 hours. Then I stopped at like at 10. I ate a meal. Now I'm here. I haven't slept in 2 days.
Yeah, when I saw, like, when I was like talking to you in the chat, and I was like, I looked at the time, I was like, oh my god. I thought you had like, I don't know why I thought this, but in my head I'm like, maybe she lives like in Asia or something. Like maybe you moved somewhere over there, and like that's just like your time zone now, and then you mentioned Midwest, and I was like, oh no.
Nope. I've become unhinged. So like, how do I manage? Fucking poorly. I don't know.
Well, it sounds like, you're still making sure you're, hopefully at least, eating your an okay balanced diet. I mean, how many of us really? I haven't eaten yet today. It's 1 o'clock.
Pretty good. Oatmeal and hash browns. More carbs than I need, but like, um, no, I have a real problem. I take medicine for ADHD. Usually, the way that they treat it is a stimulant. Stimulants are frequently appetite suppressants. So I have a real issue with eating meals. I don't do it enough.
Yeah, I have to, basically force my own partner to eat more than 2 meals a day anyway. So
Yeah.
I get it.
But yeah, so like, I'm I know that I do better when I have a schedule by which to live my life. So I'm excited to get a job that will force some sense of order into my life,
Absolutely.
but it'll wreak havoc on the stream, I think. Because like, as it stands, like, this is a thing that I'm able to do, right? Just start streaming at 10 and then just spend the whole night. And then obviously, like, the rest of today and tomorrow are kind of fucked, but it's fine because like I don't have any obligations on Monday anyways. Um, but like, if I have a job, I just can't do that. So I'm worried about how much, and like I shouldn't, because I know that when I used to have a job, when I like went in for grad school, I like regularly started at like 6 p.m. instead of 10, and then streamed from 6 p.m. to midnight, and then went to bed at midnight, like
Hmm.
a healthy person might. So I'm really excited to get a little bit more rigidity into my schedule, so that things can be a little bit less um, unhinged.
Well, that's good to hear, though. That's good to hear that, like, you want, because I know there are people who don't want that. People just want to stay unhinged forever, and that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
I
That's all I have to say.
feel like at some age you're gonna hit a wall, you know?
That's true. So, do you have any like big prospects? Like, you don't have to talk about any specific details, but do you have any like leads or prospects? I know you're like you said, your field is pretty niche. So, has it
Mm.
been like difficult trying to find something in the field that you have a degree for?
Well, so it's a weird situation where, like, if I were trying to get a job in what I'm trained for, that would be incredibly niche. Um, Fortunately, I don't really wanna do that. I just wanna do data, and I just like numbers and spreadsheets and, like, you know, mooshing numbers together and getting results and then giving them to people, which is a thing that everybody needs.
Yes.
And basically my undergrad was in physics, my master's is in biophysics. So I have this like breadth of knowledge in a bunch of fields of science. Like I have training in like physics, biology, chemistry, like optics. Now I guess you could say engineering. I worked in a hospital for a while. like computer science, statistics, machine learning. I've been doing machine learning research for like 7 years at this point. So like basically my like knowledge pool is so broad at this point that like there are very few things that like I can't very rapidly pick up just from like the like wealth of experience that I have
That's
as a busy
fantastic, though.
26-year-old.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have a degree of any kind. I went to school. Like I think I mentioned before we started that I went for audio school. I literally went for one semester,
Mhm.
and
Oh yeah.
I was like, I hate this.
So what
So
do you do now?
I I basically like teach a class
Huh.
for my job. I teach people how to fuel airplanes.
Hell yeah.
I'm a big airplane person now.
That's great. I'm like a big proponent of like not like like obviously learning trades is basically it. I think that everybody got really excited about university like I don't know. Right before us, like the millennials. It was
Hmm.
like a big thing. Everybody went and got a degree. And I don't think that's necessary. I think that for my case, it was pretty necessary because I wanted to be a scientist, right?
Oh yeah.
And like, that's where the science happens. Um, but I think that like if we did an awful thing discouraging people from learning trades, you know. If you're big into cars, get into cars. That's like that's there's great money there, you know? Like mechanics make good money. That's like a good job. And I think that there was this like stupid attitude. Oh, you're not going to be able to find a job if you don't get a university degree. And like,
Or like you're below somebody else if you don't have a 4-year
mhm,
degree.
yeah, ridiculous, completely ridiculous.
So yeah, like my job very niche. Like you can't just walk off the street and do what I do. You have to like you have to fuel airplanes for like time before you can tell other people how to do it.
Yeah.
So I've
And
been
it's
at my
just
job
like,
for 7 years, and I got this section of my job about almost 2 years ago now.
yeah, it's like realistically, the thing that you need is training, right?
Hmm.
I think that like apprenticeships are the best thing in the world. And that's what when I was like in high school, people were talking about it, how like realistically, if you want to go into programming, you shouldn't go to school. School's like I'm like, I don't know about that because like I took some computer science courses and like I learned a whole bunch, but like I think an apprenticeship would do the exact same thing and not cost you six figures, you know?
Absolutely. It's all about how
Um,
different people learn as well too. Like if you're
true.
not good in a classroom,
Mhm.
it's definitely
Mhm.
more advantageous to go out and learn it in a like real world practical setting. But for other people who are like, really good with books and all that stuff and like really good at, being in a classroom, you can learn the exact same stuff. You just don't have the sometimes the real world expertise. But the I would say the double edged sword that I've found is like my expertise is in one thing.
Mm.
Aviation experience doesn't exactly transfer into many other
That's fair.
like groups. So, but that's fine with me because I plan to like be in aviation for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Right? Find something you like and pursue it.
Exactly.
You ever think about making this gig? I'm sure you think about it.
Oh,
You
never.
ever think about it you don't think about it?
Never.
Good for you.
I learned my lesson with music.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
I
that's super fair. That's super fair.
yeah, I play music live. I'm in a band. I enjoy it. I
Mhm.
would never once want to be a touring musician or an audio engineer or like a producer for a living. Um I enjoy doing like talking to people. I enjoy having these conversations. Do I like but at the same time like if I don't want to, I didn't upload an episode of this for like a month or two. I just didn't want to.
It's
Then
fine. You
then
don't die, right?
yeah. Don't have any obligation. Like I don't have any obligation to play RuneScape. Whereas if I was like a full time content creator and I like didn't want to play that day, I'd be like too fucking bad. You're gonna get on. You're gonna play.
Yeah. No, I think about that a lot.
Do you,
I'd be lying if I said that I don't think about being a full-time content creator.
do you want to though?
Well, that's the thing. I love it. I love streaming. I hate video editing, but I like making videos. I don't know if that makes any sense at all.
I'm the exact same way. The editing process sucks.
Hate.
So I do
Oh,
virtually none of it.
yeah, good for you. I'm working on some videos. I did a 24-hour stream where I opened 50 masters, or I opened like 2,000 clues and did 50 masters
Hmm.
in 24 hours. Which is like a feat of endurance, but also like people really like caskets. But then you have to edit fucking YouTube videos where they want to see every casket. There's 2,000 of them.
This is an hour-long video, guys. Come on.
No, it's not. There's a 40-minute video, and then there's 1/3 of it.
Oh no.
And like a lot of these clips are literally 8 frames long.
So you're just constantly going in and splitting the
I
clip.
I swear I haven't put out a video in like 2 months because I've been working on the second part of this stupid fucking thing. And it's just like I swear I must have put 40 hours into the first one, 20 hours into this one at least, and I'm like not done yet. And it's like I've got a third one. It doesn't help that like this is spoilers for anyone. It doesn't matter. They don't care. Most of them saw it anyways. They saw it live. So I did another one, another 24-hour, 50 masters. But the thing about masters from caskets is it's RNG. And I got
Mm-hmm.
65 masters instead of 50,
Oh.
which if you can do the math is 32 hours. So I gave up after 26, and then we did like another full, like, 6-hour stream to finish them off. And just, I was so broken from that experience that going to edit the first 24-hour was the most demoralized I have ever been when it comes to RuneScape. So I took a month and I played Minecraft, but I found an MMO on Minecraft called Hypixel Skyblock.
Yep,
And
I've heard of Hypixel.
I went like completely like just a state of duper, just like catatonic for like a full month. Wake up, play that, go to bed. It was the unhealthiest I have been in a long time. And like I broke out of it because at some point there's like a point, I don't know if you've ever had like a severe video game addiction.
Oh yeah, like the summer of 2020 from like May until like July.
Right.
It was
So
wake up, go on like an hour ride or a walk, go to the store, get a Red Bull,
all right, better than I did.
come home, smoke weed, play RuneScape for 13 hours. But it was
Yeah.
like, it was weird because I had like a rigid schedule. Like I would wake up at 7, start playing RuneScape by 8, be done at 10, go to bed, and I did that exact schedule almost 3 months straight.
Isn't it like there's a certain point in there where you like realize that it's not a healthy behavior and you're going to need to quit, but you really don't want to?
Yes.
So there's just like a cognitive dissonance. And I think that I hit that. And then that's what like I told my partner. I told her, like, hey, we need to stop this. It's really bad for us. And then we're like, yeah. And then we did it for like another week. And then we went for a walk and the fresh air, clear head. We were like, we need to stop. And then neither of us have logged in since that day. Like we went on a walk and immediately quit. Cold turkey, didn't go back.
That's crazy actually though.
You have to. You just realize that you just completely control alt deleted a month of your life. You know?
But did you have fun?
I don't know. Kind of. We both were talking about it like a couple days ago, and we were craving it. But like on the flip side, like I was trying to remember. I was like, I feel like I spent a month playing a different game, but I like couldn't remember what it was because I just lost a month.
That's a whole strange phenomenon.
It's crazy. It was super crazy. So I'm like, if you don't have an addictive personality, it's really cool. Like honestly, I'm amazed at what they built in Minecraft. and like the world is super cool to explore. And like I'm a big environmental exploration person. So like that was like one of my favorite things about it. You like grind, because it's an MMO to unlock a new area, right? And then you look and it's like totally different and super cool, and like the rules are different and things have changed. And like I was like, this is Minecraft, and they built it in Minecraft. That's so cool. Um, but also in retrospect, considering how much I love like the like free form, like creative elements of Minecraft, and then you stick an MMO in it, it was always going to be a recipe for disaster for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't wonder why it happened, and I also know for a fact that I can never play it again.
Otherwise, it'll suck you right back in.
It'd be so bad. I don't want to lose any more months. I have too many things to do.
So yeah, time is of the essence, basically, at that point.
Yeah, you have to like. I'm like, I know I'm 26. I'm young, right? We're young, but like I have arrived at a point in time where I just recognize that like every minute, every day, right? Like there's like this is a finite resource and you cannot be fucking around with it.
100%.
So we play RuneScape, valuable use of time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, it's a good point to bring up too. And that was one thing, like taking a step back and playing RuneScape like a healthy amount, like playing video games in general for a healthy amount instead of only this all day, every day was a weird balance. Cause like when we're done talking and when we exit this, I'll probably log off for the rest of the day.
I'm gonna go to fucking bed.
I'm gonna watch a movie with my partner, make dinner, spend some time with them. Because I didn't yesterday. I played RuneScape all day yesterday.
No, tragically, I have video editing. And then actually, I promised someone that I'd make him an emo, and it's like almost done. I have to do the shading. And then I have another friend who I told that I would make sub badges for. I like doing favors for people. It's just sort of like I'm not gonna talk about my politics here. This is not the space. Comrade. That's it.
An eye for an eye, but like instead it's, I can't think of a good like positive analogy for that.
It's not even that. It's okay. Just you don't have to engage in this if you don't want to, but capitalism has like forced into everyone's brains that you need to receive something when you give something. And every time that you do something and don't expect anything in return, you are sticking it to capitalism. I and like before they invented currency, people just did shit for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just how society worked. And I like that better.
Oh,
So I still sort of
I totally
like
understand what you're saying.
function on that like way. So I just like do things for people because I like them. And like, like rapport and esteem is a currency in and of itself. So like when you do things for people, they think you're well, that makes it sound bad. Like
I think you're
when
a
you do
sucker.
things for people, they think you're a better person. But like no, like, you build esteem and rapport with people by being kind and not expecting compensation.
Mm-hmm.
And like yeah, people take advantage of it, right? But like people take advantage of every system. Um, and like you just have to know your friends well enough to not be friends with someone who would choose to take advantage of you. And like
100%.
not make personal sacrifices in order to like benefit other people. But like yeah, so I've got some favors to finish up on in some video editing.
And then go to bed.
No, I'm probably gonna sleep first.
Oh, okay. So you're going to go to bed and then wake up and finish those things.
Yep, probably realistically around like 9 p.m. and then stay up all night again. My sleep schedule's fucked again. It's just I spent 2 days with a normal sleep schedule. It was the best. I fell asleep at like 11 p.m. I woke up at like 7 a.m. Great. Then I immediately followed it up by streaming from 10 p.m. to like 10 a.m. or whatever.
So in other words, this is a demon of your own creation.
Yeah, I can't help it.
That's fair.
I don't know how to fix it.
So as far as like all that goes, that's a great, a great motivator maybe for yourself or for anybody else who wants to fix a sleep schedule or fix a real life motivations. But like, aside from, some of the negatives that you've talked about in regards to that stuff, like at least you're like working out and like cooking and all that stuff. And you're not just like slumming and ordering Taco Bell every day.
Yeah. I think that if you get stuck, just like, that's what I have, like a channel in my Discord called Grass Touchers to encourage people to like be in the world, because I think that we get stuck so easily, especially like after the pandemic. Everybody's staying inside all the time, especially as like RuneScapers. We get stuck, and it's just like, if you just go out and touch grass. We all make jokes about how touching grass is bad, but if you just like, you'll get some clarity that will make you feel so much better. And it's just that you just have to go and touch some grass sometime.
And I know, and for anybody listening, like it's can be very difficult, especially in the winter. The last thing you want to do is go outside where the wind hurts. But do your best. So as far as all that goes, we'll dive a little bit back into a little bit of a RuneScape question for you.
Yeah.
What are your current goals? What are you working on right now? Whether it be on the main or the 10 HP, or like, what are some of the big goals that you want to see yourself finish in the near to late future?
So with the main, obviously I have different goals on different accounts. The big thing with the main that I've been working on since, when I started the account, probably the first goal that I set for myself, Diary Cape. I only have 2 skills left. It's Slayer and Fishing. I don't love fishing, but it's just 3-tick. So I'm just gonna 3-tick fish for like a week and I'll get it. It won't be hard.
You could 2-tick fish.
I could. I like 3-ticking a lot more, actually.
I think 2-tick sword and tuna is like one of my favorite methods of doing the game.
See, I think that it's very chill when you're doing it, but the rats or the fishing spots moving around, and then you need to reset the rats.
Oh no, there's a way you just walk and it doesn't reset them.
I'm just bad. I should learn how to do it better.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. At some point, I'll have you teach me. But yeah, no, I just, my thing is like, the reason I love tick manipulation, the thing that I love about tick manipulation, and that like to juxtapose it against the thing I don't like about Slayer, is that I like the rhythm, I like the trance of it, the flow state. And whenever the fishing spot disappears and you have to move, it breaks my flow state. Unlike 3-tick, you do kind of have to. And actually, what I found recently, my favorite fishing content has been aerial fishing. I have been really enjoying aerial fishing lately.
That's a crazy statement.
I have 5 tenches.
I got the pearl fly rod for like a bingo, and I was like, I'm never coming back here.
Now, this is the crazy. I have I have a collection log account, right? I have 5 tenches. None of them are on the collection log account.
That's crazy.
I have 2 rock golems. Neither of them are on the collection log account.
Sounds like you're playing the wrong account.
It's very upsetting. Well, this is the crazy thing. I was at MLM with 2 of my accounts on top of each other, and I got the rock golem. One of them was a collection log account, right? This account has 99 mining. The other one was at like 80, and that's the one that got it. All right.
Yeah, most of my
I got rock golem at level 50 on the 10 HP.
That's depressing.
It's stupid.
I will say, like, from 32 to about 91 mining was all at the Zia Dense Essence mine. And I did about
what?
Yeah, I did like 40 mil RC there.
Oh, I have like 86 RC.
And I wanted Prospector, so I left for like 600k XP to go to MLM, and I got the rock golem, and that 600k XP I left.
Yeah. No, it's very frustrating because like you probably know this, but the best rate for rock golem in the game is gem rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent like, I don't know, know if, like, in the context of, like, 200 mil accounts, it's, like, not a lot, but I spent tens of hours doing tech manipulation at Gemrocks, trying to get rock golem because mining is my favorite skill. Rock golem is my favorite pet. I don't have it.
Hopefully
It just
soon.
yeah, I mean, now that I have 99 mining, I'm way less motivated to do that just to, like, pet hunt because there's just other things, right? Like, I don't have Rocky the thieving pet or the squirrel yet. So, like, I know that stalls, like fish stalls, it's like only like 24 hours to get Rocky on average. But I don't have a Pharaoh scepter yet either. And I'm 95 thieving. I've done a ton of pyramid plunder. Um, so I'm gonna like keep sending that until I get a Pharaoh scepter, and then I'll go do Rocky at fish stalls. But then like squirrel. So basically, I just have other skilling pets to hunt
Hmm.
on non-maxed skills. So I'm gonna do those, and then I'll go back.
You reminded me to check my collection log really quick. One time I was doing one of these casts and I got an extra squirrel. And it obviously doesn't follow you. If you get the extra one, it shows you your chat box, and I have that fully closed. And I didn't realize I got it until about 7 months later.
Excellent.
So every once in a while now I'll check after like a cast to see if I got it or not.
That's funny.
So that just reminded me to like do a quick look.
Yeah. Check the before state. Or during. I don't know. How long have we been here?
Hour and 22 minutes.
Perfect.
Believe it or
The
not.
last time I did a podcast, it was with, I don't know if you saw Boon Babe.
No, I did
She
not.
does a podcast. We were like 4.5 hours.
That's a long time.
As you know, conversations meander.
That's true. That's true. And I do like to try and keep it to a like set 2 hour like maximum, like 2:15, just because like I know
Yes.
when I go look for a podcast and it says like 3 or 4 hours, I'm like, that's a sleepy time.
Sleepy time.
That's a sleepy time one. If it's like
I've been told that my voice is very soothing.
there's probably somebody listening right now, like when this video goes up, that is going to bed as we are talking.
Yeah. I was like, I think that some people might not like that as a streamer. People being like, I watch your stream and I fall asleep. But I think it's nice.
They feel comfortable.
Yeah. I'm like sort of a curse of burden. I find it completely incapable to sleep just all of the time.
Mhm.
So being able to give it as a gift to someone else feels special to me.
That's a great way to see it. Because for me, I am like time to go to bed. I lay down, turn my video on, and within like 10 or 20 minutes, I'm asleep. Sometimes less than that.
Do you dream?
Yeah, of course. I had a very, very like vivid dream the other day. And it was not fun. It's not a fun dream.
I have dreams every day. I was telling someone this the other day, actually. I remember the first time I ever didn't dream one night.
Really?
It was incredibly disorienting.
Wow. I remember I still have a vivid memory of like the first dream I ever had, like that I could remember as a kid. From when I was like 6 years old. It was like it was the first time I found out you could like dream the same thing again. Because like it was like I created like this world for myself, and like there was this like you know how you're protagonist of your own life. So I had like imagined these like sentient rake creatures, like
excellent,
and like for like one night I like dreamt it, and I'm like, that was crazy. It was like a very vivid, like I like traveled through this world like with these people trying to like, we're all trying to get away from these things, these like, I guess not things, like these other people. And then the next night I was so worried about like what happened to my like friends there that I like continued the story for like 2 or 3 more nights.
Amazing. That's great.
And that was the first time I recalled, and I was like, damn, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So that was like fun, but when I was 6, it was very scary.
No, I've always had incredibly vivid dreams every single night. I wake up disoriented because I find it difficult to separate dream from reality. This is part of the sleep issue. I have sleep problems.
I know some people who do. So like, I used to. I have no idea what changed, but I just like don't anymore. I just like
Yeah.
go to bed.
Well, I mean, it's the thing. It's that I think what really it boils down to is it doesn't matter if I go to bed early or I go to bed late. I always wake up groggy and disoriented.
Hmm.
So, like, I don't like, I'm sure you know that, like, if you stay up late, then you wake up feeling like shit in the morning.
Hmm.
But imagine if no matter what you woke up feeling like shit, it's sort of all of the motivation to go to bed early just evaporate.
That's fair because like my difference is like I always wake up also feeling pretty groggy no matter what time it is. My difference comes from like the 10 minutes after. Like once I sit up and I have like moved, that's when I know if it was like a good night's sleep or not.
Hmm,
So like
that's fair.
when I like
That's
stand up, like go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, like by the time I am like clothed and ready to like leave my house for work or like sitting down on my computer, that's when I know if it's going to be like if I like slept enough.
yeah.
It's just so it's like getting over that hurdle because like I know I wanted to wake up early today so I could watch the Counter-Strike 2 major started today. And I want to wake up early and like 7 or 6:45 rolled around when I was going to wake up. And I went to bed at like midnight and I was like, oh, I don't want to get up now. So I woke up at like 9 instead. And I like stood up and I was like, it was not a good night's sleep. That also could have been part of the half a bottle of tequila I drank last night.
Yeah, we're getting to that age.
So, and I struggled with like doing a full bottle like every weekend for a while. So I just kind of haven't been buying them and I just haven't been really enjoying it. And then I bought one yesterday and I woke up today and I'm just once again like, I understand. I remember why I stopped enjoying this.
Yeah.
It's fun for like an hour or two. It's just not worth the backlash.
I kinda stopped drinking after college, to be honest.
And I was never never a drinker until like probably 2 years ago.
Mm.
But that was the problem is, and I got too into it. So now I'm getting less into it again. So
Yeah,
I went through my college party phase like 24.
that's fair. Well, I think a lot of people do that in grad school. I kinda didn't, partially because most of the time that people spend going to bars or whatever, I just started a streaming career. So,
I mean, what's worse, you know?
yeah.
The answer is going to bars every night. That is worse.
Wow, good for your well,
Good for your
probably.
good for your
Depends on how
social,
many
not good
drinks.
for your
Yeah.
liver
Yeah.
or your wallet.
If you're working out, though, if you're moving around, being social, I think that streaming leads to social isolation. It's a very slippery slope.
I never looked at it like that, I guess, but that is a good perspective to have. Or if I should say interesting perspective. Yeah, because like I'll watch streams, but I don't really like streaming.
Mm,
I like being able to like watch a video at my own leisure. So that's how I like create the content.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's a tricky balance. I think that people talk about the parasocial thing, like,
Hmm.
a lot, um, but it's sort of like a two-way street where, people talk about how, like, "Oh, like, since we share all this stuff about ourselves, right, people know about us," and, like, I'm a very open book, so people can get to know me pretty freaking well from what I say, um, realistically, but the thing is that, like, I don't know most of them beyond a name and a color, right? And, like, they tell me about their lives and, like, fingers crossed I remember it. I have memory issues, but, like, I do my best. But the other side of it is that as a streamer, right? If someone just gets bored and stops watching, which just happens, right? I have some streamers who I used to watch a lot and now I don't watch so much of. And like I still like them, but I just don't really watch them that much because like I'm too busy.
Hmm.
You don't, right? It's you don't like follow up with them. That's like a that's like a no-no. You don't, you know? You don't go like, "Hey, where have you been? Where haven't you been in my stream?" That's like a creepy thing to do. Um, I'm like, you can like check on them and like make sure they're okay if you like haven't seen them around the community or whatever. But like, if someone's moved on, you just let them move on. But what it means is there are some people who I like felt very close to who don't come around that much anymore. And like, if your friends just kind of disappear on you and like there's no reason for them not to, like the whole streaming thing's very transient. Um, People come and go all the time. And you sort of have to be okay with that, which means that like you need to find your social stability in a different way. Which is why I think that a lot of creators have Discords because it's a lot more of a stable environment.
Hmm.
Uh, but the other thing is that sort of streaming incentivizes you to, in the times when people are in their like hangout mode, right? The like Friday evenings, the Saturday nights, to stream at those times. And that's when any friends that you would be making in real life are doing shit. So you end up, if you're trying to stream full time, you miss all of the like opportunities to socialize. So I think it's really, really easy to get socially isolated as a streamer.
It's very interesting. I guess like I never did it long enough, or like I guess enjoyed it enough to like really get to that point. So it's a very like interesting perspective.
Well, I mean, I've only ever streamed 3 days a week, so like if I felt like socializing, I could. And like it's never been, it's like you were saying, if you make it your job, now you're trapped,
Hmm.
right? And like it's not my job. And I take time off all the time because I say like at the end of the day, I don't really have much of a mask. I don't really do that. Um so if I'm not feeling it, I don't go live because like I'm just going to carry that energy into the stream and nobody's going to have a good time. It'll be stupid. I'll end a stream in like an hour and a half because it just sucks.
Hmm.
So like
Absolutely.
if I feel bad or I'm tired or it's just not happening, I just don't do it. And I just can because it doesn't matter. Because like we're all just there to have fun.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. You make the hamster in my brain turn a lot, making me use my brain power today.
You're welcome.
So as far as all of that kind of stuff goes, like with not wanting to get I guess trapped in isolation with, and like you talked about some other games you played, but is there any games that you actively play besides RuneScape, or like have thought about making content for besides RuneScape?
Oh, content. Yeah. Actually, okay. I've been obsessed with there's like a deck building roguelike called Balatro. I haven't played it, but I've been watching YouTube like videos on it like crazy. It seems like so much fun. I don't think I'd make videos with roguelites. It's not really my deal. Factorio,
Love
some
Factorio.
challenge ones. I'm doing a Factorio run with a friend from college who like I'd say my like closest friend group, like my group of friends is probably some guys who I like lived with for a couple years in college.
Hmm.
Uh, who like during the pandemic before I started streaming basically was like every night in a Discord call with them.
Hmm.
And then like now every night I'm video editing or I'm streaming, so I like don't talk to them much, which is like super sad. But one of them will like DM me on Friday evenings. He like works for like Google or something, making six figures easy. Um, but he'll just DM me like, "Do you want to play Factorio?" And I'm like, "Yeah, all right." I'll put away video editing so that I can hang out and talk to a friend. Um, and like that's been really good. I think that that's been really good. I play Ultimate Chicken Horse with them sometimes.
Never heard of
It's like a
that.
party game. It's like a party game. It's a lot of fun. It's like a little, obstacle course, king of the hill type thing. I don't really know how to describe it. Um, but just playing with them, just like little fun, fluffy games. They play a lot of first person shooters, and I'll just like watch them play.
Hmm.
Like they used to play a ton of Rainbow Six Siege.
I never got into Siege.
It was fun to watch because I could understand what's going on. They play like Hell Let Loose, and I have no idea what's going on.
Hmm.
Um, but other games that I play, hmm, Skyrim, but that's single player. Um, that's like I don't want to say Minecraft, but like every once in a while I'll play Minecraft. Usually it'll be like one of your friends starts a server, you play for like 3 weeks and then you quit again.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely, 100%.
just see what new shit they've added since the last time you've played.
Yeah, and I keep up with Minecraft updates on like YouTube and stuff. So like I currently when I do my 2 or 3 week binge a year, I'm like, okay, I can't wait to see this thing.
Yeah.
And then I see it, I'm like, cool. There's pandas now and shit.
So much stuff. I'm not gonna take that tangent. We're gonna stay on the highway. Take that off
We're not gonna we're not gonna jump in the rabbit hole.
Well, yeah, we're not gonna talk about Minecraft updates. Yeah, I don't think Terraria, Stardew Valley, Minecraft, Skyrim, RuneScape. Those are like the big ones.
Have you considered making videos on any of these other games, or are you
Yeah.
kind of like, and have you like started one?
Nope. I have a big plan for a Factorio video, but frankly, I don't have I'm not good enough at it to pull it off yet. So, like, I try
Oh,
to play that's like I did a stream. I have a stream of me doing, a speed run of Factorio. And that's like I found out the Factorio, Twitch community is very tight-knit because you get, like, literally and granted, it's, like, not a very big community. So, like, I had, like, I don't know, 20-ish people watching, and I was, like, 2nd in the category. So, like, rank 2 in the world Factorio speedrunner comes into my stream and is giving me, like, tips and tricks and being like, "Oh, good luck. You're, like, a newbie. It's so great to see you here." And, like, it was really cool, and I like that, and, like, I think it's just honestly, I don't know if I have the brain. These people are wild. It's really hard. I always get completely just mentally cooked by, like, 2 hours into the run because, like, that's just it's literally it's engineering. It's like workflow engineering is the game.
mm-hmm.
So, like, just laying it out, keeping everything straight, keeping the ratios, it's it's a lot. It's a lot. So I'd like to get better at it because there's absolutely no way that I can pull off a thing that I want to do unless I'm better at the game. So I'm
Well,
playing with a friend on the weekends.
I wish you good luck in your endeavor to become a Factorio pro.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd love to make stuff other games. It's always like you think you make a like everybody likes RuneScape stuff, and then you make something else and it doesn't do as well, and then you feel like, oh, nobody wants to watch it, and then you get the comments like, oh, is this ever coming back? And then it's weird. It's hard. I've seen Jimmy talk about it because he tries to make non RuneScape videos.
He does like okay on them, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's especially you just kind of have to push through if you want to be a variety person. You got to push through.
I think what helps him a little bit is like he's like, even though he'll do like that, I think he did like a World of Warcraft video I watched, but
Mhm.
like he always goes back to like consistently like the RuneScape stuff.
Yeah, sort of. I think that there's like a the frog in the pot, and they slowly raise the temperature.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, I think. I think that a lot of creators are realizing, like, we can't like, RuneScape is a small niche, right? And once you've hit filled it, and not many people have, Settled did, and he managed to continue making RuneScape content, but made it in a way that non-RuneScape viewers can, like, enjoy it. But I think that some people are like, now that I've cornered this market, I need to expand, but you have to do it in such a way that you don't lose the people that you already have, which is like a big issue with trying to pivot, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta like slowly do just a little bit more, and then the people who keep watching you, they don't leave because you're still releasing RuneScape stuff, and they still want to see that, and then they get curious, and the little seed, and then they watch your Valheim video, and then it was pretty good. It's also medieval, like, oh, it's pretty interesting, and then you watch the CS:GO one, and then you watch fucking and then all of a sudden you watch everything Jimmy puts out regardless.
Yeah, yeah. And then
So like,
suddenly you're watching a video about, I don't know. I can't even think of like a random game right now that's like not popular anymore. You're watching him play through his Halo 2 for the first time on Legendary.
I want to play Portal 2 again.
Such a good game.
so good.
Maybe one day we'll see the variety come to the gluten channel.
Yeah, I do. I do time to time. I'm okay. I'm gonna. Sorry,
On the YouTube
you're gonna hear
channel.
some. You're gonna hear some. Oh, on the YouTube. Ooh, I don't know. I still have them all recorded. I record all of my footage, and I have it all on a 6 terabyte hard drive.
I do almost the same thing. I record so much, and I actually have a backup now because I like had to reset my computer. So I was like, just in case it resets both drives, I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to load all of this and have it as an archive.
yeah. I think the thing is like already the amount of time. If I had a video style that required less effort, then I think I'd be way more willing to put out more random shit.
Hmm.
But as it stands, if it takes 40 hours to edit a video, I'm not willing to put in the time unless it's gonna be a banger.
That's
That's
fair.
how I feel about YouTube. And, like, I mean, the result is that I put out a video, like, once a month or something. But, like, you know, I think that that's just how it is. Like, I don't know. I'd probably one of those be, like, second channel Andes. It's like, "Oh, you wanna see the non-RuneScape stuff? It's on a second channel."
And that one has 10 subs compared to like the couple hundred or whatever you have on the main channel, and it's just like,
160.
and then in your head you're like, was it worth it?
I mean, look, I'm not even gonna think about doing, like, that kind of thing until that's what I'm like that's the thing. There's a Trackmania streamer named Virtual, has, like, several YouTubes, and he's got one that's, like, his I'm gonna call it quote, unquote, "professional videos," and then one that's, like, the bullshit, you know? "Here's a thing we did on stream that was pretty interesting. Give it a watch," right? That, like, I've got plenty of those. I've got plenty of those locked and loaded, but, like, it's just kinda stupid. Um, but, like, to me, making videos is kind of art, and, like, a lot of painters will, like, they, like, make a painting and they don't think it's that great and they just trash it, right? Or they
Hmm.
throw it away. They don't show it. And, like, I don't think that variety content is art unless there's, like, something there other than just, like, I played like, Portal 2 again because I enjoy it, right? I played Subnautica again because I think it's a great game. Like, that's not it's fun, it's cozy, it's fluffy, it's content, but it's not art. If I, like, do some challenge run in some game and it's, like, novel and, like, contributes, then, like, I might put that on the YouTube because, like, you know, that's something special. I did a thing. Oh, I have one of those actually. I just remembered. Non it's not variety. So I'm making a Neve cosplay.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've heard me talk about it at all.
I have not. No.
So I'm gonna wear it to RuneFest, which gives me a hard deadline of September, which is coming up way too fast. Um, but like I feel like I see a lot of cosplays, and they're kind of mid because the people who make them are like streamers who need a cosplay by like next Tuesday. So like maybe they do some sewing and some stitching or whatever. I'm doing it right.
Hell yeah.
The skirt is scale mail and dragon scale chainmail, and like I'm gonna it's a whole endeavor. Um, and I'm gonna make videos and I'm gonna put them on the YouTube. It is OSRS related, but they're not like account videos, right?
It's not like gameplay. It's like
Yeah,
real life gameplay.
yeah, here's a cool maker thing that I'm doing. Um, and I'm absolutely because without question, this is art, right? That I'm doing. And the process of making it can be a story, and that's art. So it's some OSRS tangential. I'm like, honestly, I wouldn't hate if I pivoted into being like a cosplay maker because like I love working with my hands. I'm a very crafty person.
That's awesome. I can't wait. I mean, regardless of if it's just that one or if you continue to do them, I'm excited to see.
Mhm.
Excited to see how it
Hey,
turns out.
ideally, you wear it to RuneFest, right? And then like Settled or Jimmy or Nine Rain sees it and they go, how much money would it take for you to make me full Blorva? Right?
Oh my God.
The answer has at least 4, but probably 5 digits,
Or someone's
right?
like, can you make me a Zuck helm?
A Zuck helm would be way easier than a full suit of armor. That's what I'm like. Our discussion about the Elysian is basically we're planning on doing a resin pour, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Which means that we need to make a positive mold and then a negative mold. You know, Anakra's Lament, the thing you do with the camel.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that. You carve it out and then you stick it in a soft thing to get a negative mold, and then you use the negative mold to create the positive. So the first one will probably be out of foam, then the negative will probably be made out of silicon, so that we can resin pour and it will be reusable, so that we can just sell Elysians.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But I've watched like those. I watched some actually people on YouTube. I used to love like the tiny house craze when it was first starting.
Oh yeah.
So I watch like videos of people like doing like DIY stuff. There's a guy I watch who's like building a house inside of like a loft that he bought in like New Jersey or something. So like I watch some of that stuff. So like when you talk about like resin pouring or like people doing epoxy and all that stuff, like I am I'm very like unbeknownst to most people, I'm pretty like intimately familiar with some of that stuff. But like
Yeah.
I've never heard you use a term like the terms you used. I've never actually heard people use those terms before. So now you're enlarging my cranium right now. Enlarged.
That's what, like, here's the thing, right? My like background, my existence is as a scientist, right?
Yeah.
So the way that I think about like interacting with humans is like acquisition of knowledge and the sharing of knowledge. So like a lot of the way that I like make videos, make content, like have conversations is about like this intellectual interfacing.
100%.
So yes, being around me makes you bigger brained, guaranteed.
Or your money back.
Or your money back, guaranteed bigger brain in 3 weeks.
It's like one of those multi-level marketing schemes, but it works.
Yeah, definitely works.
100%. No falsities here.
No falsities here.
So since we are coming close to the 2-hour mark, I have one final like kind of big question for you, or like one or two small one maybe small one, then one big final one. But before I ask you any further questions, do you have any questions for me?
Not really. I guess we haven't talked about like you said like this is episode 34.
Yeah.
You decided to make a podcast.
Uh-huh.
And then you've just been sending it.
Yep.
But like you don't have any like aspirations of a career.
No.
So like what keeps you going? Why do you keep doing it?
I just enjoy talking to people.
That's fair.
And like I've always like wanted to like, you ever watch somebody do a video and you're like, man, I'd love to like pick their brain. I think about that for like almost every content creator I watch or like people I talk to in the game who don't necessarily create content.
Yeah.
Like I would love to just sit down and pick your brain. But I didn't have any kind of excuse to do that. And now I have an excuse to do that.
An official platform so you can convince people who might not otherwise talk to you. It's brilliant.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Like would I have ever gotten to like be in a Discord call one-on-one with like Heybox or Sebe? No.
Is that how you pronounce Heybox?
It's Heybox Younge, I think is how he pronounced it. Yeah.
All right. I'm probably going to keep calling him Heybox John. I'm not going to lie.
He actually talks about where the name comes from in the cast we did with together. So that was, and like,
I need to listen to that one.
Yeah, there's like I said, then there's been some like really interesting stuff. Like even like today, like a lot of interesting things. You know, conversations don't always stem into like 100% RuneScape, which is cool. I like the casts where it's like an hour and a half of just RuneScape. I like the casts. Like I feel like today we've got about a half and half here. We got a pretty decent amount of RuneScape and a pretty decent amount of a like a look into who you are. which I think a lot of people like kind of gloss over too much. Because like, yeah, your pixelated video game character is cool, but like there's a person behind that character.
Yeah.
And that's like more than half of the person. Like people can like the other day I was running to a new shooting star that dropped, and some dude literally said, "Big fan Mayfield." I was like,
Nice.
that's
the best feeling, isn't it?
that's crazy. It's
I love
crazy when
those.
people like recognize me in game.
I wonder, what's your split of like interviewed streamers versus YouTubers?
As far as like all of that stuff goes, I'm not super sure because there are people I've talked to who have never made content before as well. They're just people like I knew. So in the beginning, it was like people I knew.
Yeah.
And then actually some of them started doing content afterwards.
They just love the podcast so much.
Yeah. So like, for example, like in the beginning, my favorite one I did was with Buddha Puck because I've been like, I watched him stream for a long time, hung out in the community for a while, and I just like enjoyed who that person was.
Mm-hmm.
And then like other examples have been, like the first like I think quote unquote big person I got was Tanner Dino, who's like a very big player in like the free to play community.
Yeah.
And
those free to play guys are crazy.
I know. And that's the like interesting part is like people have always like in the beginning it was literally just like level 3s and ultimates. And then I was like, I don't want to like limit myself to who I can and cannot talk to based on like what their account is because everybody's got a different perspective on everything.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about like revisiting a person that you've interviewed before?
Yeah, I've talked to people before about that. And I've even mentioned I sometimes have mentioned in the cast like you know maybe in a year's time we'll come back around. Like for example, do you watch Gwem at all?
No, I never heard of them.
Gwem does the Iron Man moral percent speedrun.
I love that.
And I'm looking at my channel and I talked to her literally 11 months ago. And she has progressed that account like so insanely amount. So like maybe when she finishes, I'll ask if she wants to be on again and talk more about like that journey. The hard part for me about getting more people on that have been on here before is I only have like the base format I've ever done. I've never done a revisit. So it'd be like a new hurdle for me. But I think it'd be fun.
Like just sometimes you like have conversations with people. I don't know. Have you ever had like every once in a while, if I like, I've not done 2 total podcasts, but like sometimes you just have a conversation with a person and you feel like there's so much just depths to probe that just didn't get touched on.
Oh, 100%. There have been conversations with people like for example, like just now I just said, "Oh, we're hitting 2 hours." I looked down at like 9 minutes and the next thing I knew it was like an hour and a half and I was like, "Oh my god." Whereas some people I'm like not naming any names, or like nobody's been boring, but some people just like we just got through everything in an hour or two.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like we probably could go for 4 hours here because we haven't talked about any like future updates, anything like your opinions on anything coming out, or some of your favorite updates, stuff like that. Like there's a lot of things that we definitely could get to.
For what it's worth, as a streamer, content creating is literally the process of filling time. So
yeah.
I'm very good at shooting this shit. I've got a lot of practice.
So yeah, like I said, as far as it goes, like long answer made short, I just like to interact with all of these different people in the community and like talk to people who I never would have had a chance to. Whether, I mean, like some of these people, like I could go into their stream, like your stream, or I could go comment on a YouTube video and ask a question. But it's a very different ball game when you're like one-on-one conversing and like other people are going to listen to it theoretically. Because like I did my first cast last week with a artist creator and I knew that would not go over well.
Did it go over well?
I mean, compared to like most of the cast, I would say I hit probably roughly around 200 views, but depending on the person though.
Mm,
And that one is only at 56.
it happens. I'm gonna tell you, like, one of my favorite videos that I've ever made, it got like 54 views, and then like the next week I put out just like a here's what's going on in my life. I recorded it in a day. It's literally just like footage of me doing easy clues and talking.
Mm-hmm.
1,000.
It's so weird, right? What hits the algorithm, what doesn't?
Why?
The YouTube monster.
So I just make art and don't think about the views.
Yeah, that's another big thing is if I used to pay attention to views a lot, and now I'm just like, it's cool to like look back. It's like the same
Mm,
thing with like making music. Like when my band puts new stuff on Spotify or whatever, like if I pay attention to how our monthly listeners change from when new stuff goes out or after we play a live show compared to like what it averagely is, I'm gonna get depressed about it. So
yeah.
I do this stuff because I enjoy doing it.
Mhm.
And I've mentioned this before, but in one of the casts I did, the guy literally said he was like, the moment you stop enjoying doing it, stop doing it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've taken to heart. So like there have been weeks I didn't want to record, so I just like didn't line anybody up. And there have been weeks that I've been like, oh, I wish it was like this day so I could sit down and talk to that person. So it's, I guess once again, because people cool.
Great. You have a last question for me?
Your
I don't
final.
wanna be your longest ever interview.
Oh, my longest one, I think it was like 2:15 or 2:30. It was the longest. So my final question, this is usually like the final one, is like, where do you see yourself with the game in the future, and where do you want to be with the game in the future? Like your future RuneScape. Like I used to say like 5 years out, but
Mm,
I've now realized that not everybody thinks like I do in that like 5 year time frame.
yeah.
So like even if it's next month, like where do you see
Um,
yourself in the future with the game? And do you see yourself like playing the game for like a long period of time, or is it kind of like one of those things? It's like if one day I just stop enjoying it, I'm just gonna stop playing.
I don't think that that will happen. Um, not the least because we've been here for 15 years and, like, haven't fucking happened yet.
Hmm.
But also oh, should have asked you if swearing was cool before we started.
Fuck yeah.
Alright. Um, but yeah, so, like, I just have so many things I wanna do, you know? I think that the only way that I stop playing RuneScape is if something else captures my interest so thoroughly that it's not that I don't wanna play RuneScape anymore, it's just that I wanna do something else so much more, you know? But I think that it'll always be here to come back to. Um, I'd like to see my main maxed. I'd like to, hit like 1,000 log slots. I'm at like 800 right now, but there's still like probably 100 easy ones to knock out.
Hmm.
Um, that's like a thing. I want to finish gluten tiles, get like a quest cape that's like finished. Um, I don't know, like I don't have any particular goals for like the 10 HP or the skill pure. It's just I like skilling and I want to skill on them, I want to make the levels go up. I
Hmm.
think it's fun when the levels go up. Um, but like in terms of like interacting with the game in 10 years or 5 years or whatever, um, I want to have a stable career that's got nothing to do with this. Um, that like between me and my partner we make enough money that we can do fun shit and not have to think about it, right?
Yeah,
And like
absolutely.
if this becomes big, right? If it becomes like thing that can produce income, like I don't know, it's like we talked about it. I don't want it to ever have to be something other than fun.
Hmm.
So like, I think that if I've got a big aspiration about content creating, it's got nothing to do with like being very popular and it's got nothing to do with making lots of money. It's more like the creators that I admire, you know? I like want to like meet them at cons and have them know who I am. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
To be
absolutely.
able to like talk to them as a peer.
And not just a
That's like
fan.
that's my dream. Yeah. I'm like even right. That's like I don't know, I have like 1,000 followers on Twitch. Humble brag. But like you see people with like 200 followers and like I'm not out here like being like, "Oh, you only have 200 followers? I look down upon you," right?
Mhm.
So like people see people at different stages in the process as peers. But I think that there's a certain point where like if I have 1,000 and then like virtual has like who knows 400,000 or something, there's a certain point where like he's probably got a minimum threshold. And like, you shouldn't judge a person by their numbers, but like, like a professional streamer, which I am not, but I'd love to just like have a conversation with him and talk about how he inspired me and like, have that mean something other than just like when a kid shows you their artwork and be like, I drew this for you.
Mhm.
So like that'd be really cool if like it was like a name that people who are people had heard. That's like, I don't know. This phrase is not a very humble dream.
Why is it nobody's dream needs to be humble?
That's fair.
I mean, like, I would love if one day my band was like getting offered festivals across the world. Like, that'd
So
be sick.
true.
Like, I go play them, but I would not like tour full time.
Yeah. I think that at the end of the day, like when I started streaming, it was just like a fun social thing. But since then it became a lot more because like I'm a trans person who has had a pretty good go of things and like there needs to be some representation out there.
Mhm.
And a lot of the people who watch me, follow me are trans and are inspired by me and find a home. And it's become a thing where like I want to make sure that like, queer people have a home. And like I don't think it'll ever stop just because as long as there's like some people who like this is a good thing for are out there like, it's worth doing just for that alone.
Absolutely.
But then like, if I blow up that'd be pretty cool, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, the only other big, really the one big trans content creator is a nanny. I think.
Mm, yeah.
I
I'm not
can't.
sure if she knows who I am.
Yeah, I have no idea. I honestly like can't name another one.
Well, now you know too.
Boom. We're
Yeah.
here.
There's a few streamers who I don't think any of them are as big as I am because like honestly, size is more about consistency than anything else.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If
That's
you're
like
there at like the same time, like a few days a week, and like somebody's like looking at that category at the same time, they're gonna see you a few times. Be like,
mhm.
I wonder what gluten's all about. Let's find out.
Yeah. And it's just like, like it's about the amount of time that you've streamed in total, I've found. Because like you think that it's just like, the same. Like, like why is one person good at streaming and another person's it's about how much time you've put into it. You get better, you learn tricks and shit by doing it for a long time. And just like that's why I look at like growth metrics and I'm like, you shouldn't judge people by their numbers, but like I'm a scientist, I'm an analyst. It's really hard not to. But like you like look at growth and you're like, there is no question at all that people who stream 5 days a week have stronger growth than people who stream 3 days a week. Um, so like, I make a point not to compare myself to people who stream more hours because yeah, it's just that's how it goes. If you put the time in, it's I'm not trying to like alpha grind set or whatever. Because that really makes the implication that again the numbers are what's important when like the important thing is fostering like a wholesome and healthy community of people who will stick by you.
And
And
having a
like at
good
the end of the
time.
day, yeah, yeah, right. Because like if you're too focused on like just developing or whatever, then like you're gonna miss the journey. That probably goes for like the type of accounts that we play too, right?
That's fair,
Like
yeah.
200 mil all accounts. If you focus too much on just like getting there, then you'll miss the just enjoyment of flow, right?
Mhm.
Of like all the time that you got to spend just exercising mastery at something that you put so much time in, and like just humbling yourself at the foot of the like obelisk that you have created with your own two hands, in the middle of building it instead of just looking back.
It's a fantastic like perspective and way to look at it. Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm all
Any
out of fun thoughts.
I was about to say, do you have any other final words of wisdom?
I think that was pretty good. I don't think I'll be able to top it, to be honest.
Perfect. Well, thank you then, Gluten, for joining me today, and I hope that you have a well-rested evening now.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and like we talked about before, one day maybe when you're, super famous and you can remember my name, you can come back.
It sounds good. Perfect. All right.
Or
Let's mark a date, 100,000 followers. Okay.
that's when you can come back.
Yes, I'm on a journey until that point.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you all for listening. All of Gluten's social links will be in the description, Twitch, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Please do yourself a favor. Go give her a follow and a subscription. Just like me with the like YouTube stuff, like I don't upload like super often. I upload enough though. I think we are in the same threshold as each other on that sense. So,
Mm.
and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel too. But that's like the last thing you should think about. So,
All right. See
have a
ya.
good night.
Bye.